not too long ago, the moment David Mark and Aregbesola joined the ADC presidential candidate of 2023 election, that's Dumebi Kachukwu, that's him there, went to court and has been challenging. He's been shouting that no, David Mark and Aregbesola, no, when I know if you take our party, that the man when given at the party, that's Ralph Wosu, that his tenure don't expire in 2022, don't be chairman for 16 years. And that's so because of that, he cannot hand over the party to this coalition. He's been shouting since that time, even before then, because he had matters with Ralph Wosu from 2022. And then recently, we now have a new kid on the block. This is the new kid on the block. Now, this man might be Nafiu Balagambo, 30-something years old man from waiting I got out. So recently, on September 2nd, 2025, the man go court claiming that, no, you must recognize me. He was a former or factional or former deputy national chairman of the party. He filed a suit against the party as first defendant, David Mark, second defendant, Aregbesola, third defendant, INEC, fourth defendant, and Ralph Wosu as fifth defendant. What were his prayers? I will show now very soon. This is a new kid on the block. I hear say now, demand the ball. Even do protests recently also now, as David Mark finished their own. When they finish protests with the crowds, they enter house, go celebrate David Mark's birthday with invited guests. Anyway, that no concern me. So, but this said, the next day, this man here and the young people, they do their own protests. It's a season of protest. So, we would bring these things to you as they come, would try to also update you with the law. As really strictly is the law, to teach you the law, not concern me with all these politicians. But we will tell you as they come. So, the man went to court, he approached the court, asking court for an order. He asked the court for an order. What are his prayers? One, an interim order, injunction, restraining the fourth defendant as INEC from recognizing David Mark, Aregbesola as chairman and secretary of the party. This is not in prayer. They are stated here, restraining the fourth defendant from recognizing the second and third defendants as chairman and national secretary of the party. That's one of the prayers. And then also the second prayers was an order also restraining the second and third defendant, that is David Mark and Aregbesola and their agent, and so as national chairman and secretary of the party. So he was asking the court, say, grant me order, restrain them. That is prayer 2 there, it's there. And then prayer 3, another restraining the fourth defender, which is INEC now, from recognizing. So ask the court also, say, no, please don't recognize or deal with Aregbesola and David Mark or their agents, however, acting on behalf of or alone, pending the determination of the substantive suits by the Honorable Court, pending the determination of the matter when it bring come court. So those were his prayers before the court. And when the court talk, the court upon reading the affidavits and hearing the lawyer's argument, and this now, the matter came up before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court on the 4th of September 2025. Then when the matter come up for court. And so, like I said, what did the court say? What did the court talk? Here, the court say, it is hereby ordered, this is now the order of the court. It is hereby ordered that the plaintiff applicant application dated and filed on the 2nd of September is refused. So the court refused that in ex parte application. Because mind you, this one are the ex parte application. There's another interlocutory application before the main originating application. I don't explain them before for other videos. And that, the second prayer, we said that an order of this court is hereby made directing the plaintiff applicant to put the defendant on notice. So that is it there. And the case is adjourned to the 15th day of September 2025 for the respondent to show cause. Who are the respondent? Like I said before, David Mark, 𝐻𝐬𝐸𝐬, the party, INEC, and WOSU. So the court say, no, this is where you want me to do so. We're not going to do a mess party. You must put the other party on notice. You must invite them. You must bring them here. Let them come and explain why we should not grant the interlocutory application. And so what did those people that they asked to come and show cause, the party and others, what did they do? Okay, this was the order I read to you before. What did they do? This was the judge that heard the matter. As can be seen, like I said, Justice Nwite declined the request, directing them instead to serve the motion to show cause on the respondent. So, but the respondent, did they come? I will tell you in the next slide. The respondent didn't come. They did not appear. Instead, it was only INEC that filed their response. INEC filed their response, as you can see, this is INEC response dated and filed on the 12th day of September 2025. That it must be noted that upon being said, INEC filed its affidavit to show cause. Mind you, the order was to show cause. Why we no go restrain you? And starting from paragraph 13 of INEC affidavit, INEC counter affidavit dated and filed on the 12th. Like I said, it is stated there. What did INEC argue? INEC position in their counter affidavit was that the National Executive Committee NEC meeting of ADC fixed for 29 July has been held, wherein the fifth defendant and his other nomination national officers, who is the fifth defendant now? Fifth defendant I told you is Ralph Nwosu. INEC argument was that the national meeting of ADC had been held on 29 July, and the fifth defendant, Ralph Nwosu, and his national officers had resigned their position and appointed the second, David Mark and 𝐻𝐬𝐸𝐬, as interim national chairman and secretary, respectively. It is stated there in INEC paragraphs. It is there if you look very well. And also, INEC argued that, that based on the outcome of that NEC meeting, the fourth defender, which is INEC, has already accorded recognition to 𝐻𝐬𝐸𝐬 and David Mark as national chairman and secretary. During an INEC argument or fact in their counter affidavit. INEC also, if you look at another paragraph, they went further to say that the person they post to the affidavit say, I know as a fact that an injunction cannot lie to stop an action that has been completed. So normally you say once the horse don't bolt, you know, go say lock the gates, make the horse no bolt. So that INEC now depose say these people, they don't appoint them already. So now you know go fit use injunction, take restrain us from recognizing them because we already don't recognize them. Anyway, that now today INEC affidavit dated 12th day of September and filed that same day. That the plaintiff Nafiu Rabiu application is an invitation to this honorable court to delve into the issues of internal domestic affair of the defendant. So the argument that time also be say, look, this is the internal matter of the party. You no suppose courts, you no suppose delve into him. No listen to Nafiu Rabiu, don't even listen to him. These were contained in the affidavit of INEC. But I must also tell you that INEC never filed this affidavit to ADC, no file counter. ADC Mark no file anything. Aregbesola no file anything. INEC was the ones that also INEC stated that they know as a fact that this honorable court is a subordinate court to the Supreme Court, and so they must follow the Supreme Court decision in APC and Moses. APC and Moses, and also in the case of Jegede and INEC, and also the case of Senator Samuel N. Anyanwu and Aniago Emmanuel, that it is in the interest of justice to refuse the application. So this was INEC position. No, if you listen to the man, don't bother. This matter is way outside the court jurisdiction. It is an internal matter of the courts, of the party. We don't recognize the party already. No listen to them, no listen to Nafi Rabiu. Throw away this case. I must say at this instance that if ADC and David Mark and co. had also filed their counter affidavit and state this position, maybe by now, they for don't argue that application, they take court for don't either throw them or grant them, and then before they take the next step. But no, ADC and David Mark, the moment they serve them this paper, INEC file their response, them no file their response. And what did they do? I will show you now. They appeal. They file appeal and say, we no go come. We know they come court. Why you go say we go show cause? They went on appeal. And the Court of Appeal, in this appeal number, refused David Mark prayer and say, come on, David Mark, Aregbesola and ADC. When I suppose file leave now, you supposed to ask for leave before you go appeal. Now judge say make una come. And I don't go say una no go fit come now. You suppose get leave. As no leave now, that the court say no. And then ordered all parties to maintain status quo ante bellum and stopped them from taking any action that would create a fait accompli on the court or render a future judgment nugatory. So now they use their own hands, carry their matter, go Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal now go adjoin the wahala, say, well, since you have refused to go to lower court, this your order where you look for, we no fit give you. But however, go back to lower court, ask for accelerated hearing. May they fast track your hearing. May they put speed. But Mona not do anything, no. Mind you, INEC na party in the matter too. Mona not do anything again. When be say if we give judgments, that judgment now, we no go fear enforce am because we don't take step, we don't do something. That's what the court talk. If to say court talk am the way I talk am, maybe problem for no day. Maybe we would have been here arguing. But the court used the words status quo ante bellum. And my friend says, what is status quo ante bellum? And somebody go say, now somebody went tattoo ant when get belly for a hand. Status ant belly. So now there now everybody begin the debate. What is status quo? What is status quo? Because why? INEC, the moment INEC get this order, INEC will say, anyway, we be they try defend you now. But since we now go appeal, court now don't say make we maintain status quo ante bellum and make we not do anything. So because of that, we not go recognize both David Mark and Aregbesola as interim chairman again and secretary until the court determine this matter. Now there I fight deal. Now dear pepper scatter for market. Everybody begin this decision. Despite the fact INEC before now had said, no, this matter the court, you know, go feel look into it. But the court say, no, we never ever reach that stage because David Mark and Aregbesola go Court of Appeal. say they no one come lower court. So now that time, now everybody come begin to ask, antebellum, 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 antebellum.
The process that brought David Mark to be chairman of the African Democratic Congress, is it the prescribed process according to the Constitution of the African Democratic Congress, the ADC? Is it the constitutionally prescribed method? Let us start from there. What happened in July of 2025 would have been okay if nobody complained. If all of the National Working Committee members, all of the State Executive Committee members, the ward, the local government, if they all had no issue with it, they would have been able to get away with it. It would have simply been the internal party affairs of the party. But is it the prescribed method according to the Constitution of the African Democratic Congress? Is it? Peter Obi, this is my question to you. When you were contesting the 2023 elections, you said yourself that you don't have an issue, but that if somebody is going to be called excellency, the process that brought him should be excellent. So I ask you, dear Peter Gregory Obi, the process that brought in David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola as chairman and national secretary of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, was the process an excellent process? Was the process the prescribed process according to the Constitution of the African Democratic Congress? He who comes to equity must come with clean hands. Very quickly, many people, particularly in the opposition, rely on the Supreme Court ruling that says that the leadership of a political party is the internal affairs of that political party. They very quickly lean on it. But here is the question. Does it mean that because the leadership is the internal affairs of a political party, then the leadership must be done anyhow, without respect for the constitution of the political party? The answer is no. You can't say because the leadership of a political party is internal affairs of the party, and then you just wake up one morning and then you just say, okay, I scrap all the NWC offices, I replace it with just the office of a chairman to do everything. You can't do that simply because it's the internal affairs of the party. No. The reason why every political party is required to have a constitution is because every activity of the political party must be guided by the constitution of that party. And so, if David Mark, Rauf Aregbesola wanted to be national chairman and secretary of the African Democratic Congress, what was the right thing to do? They would simply have gone to Ralph Nwosu and said, we like your African Democratic Congress, the ADC. We want to adopt it as the coalition party, but we don't want you to be chairman anymore. We want some new persons to be chairman, meaning we don't want your National Working Committee anymore, even though we know that you are a good party, but we don't trust your capacity. So we want you guys to step aside, but let's do it the right way. The first question would have been, and this is where I blame Atiku. The first question would have been, Ralph, since you have agreed to hand over the ADC to us, what is the constitutionally prescribed method for appointing new NWC executives? Then they would have gone and they would have seen that, oh, it is through the National Convention. The same National Convention that the alternative dispute resolution that they had that was brokered with INEC that kept Ralph Wonsu on since 2022 as national chairman of ADC. That same national convention, Ralph could have called it. He could have called that convention, and then anybody who was interested would have applied, and at the convention they will vote, and then you have substantive national chairman. Is that not the prescribed method to becoming chairman of the political party, particularly of the African Democratic Congress? Why didn't Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola, why didn't Atiku follow this process? Simple. They don't like due process. They like impunity. They want to bend they're not sure that if they follow due process, they will win. So, by hook or by crook, they want to bend the whole party to their will. So that when the time for primary comes, they can put their people in place, and then what Ralph Wonsu did will be what those people will be doing, just so that they can walk towards the answer, an already predetermined answer. That's why they chose that path. Now, all of this would have been okay, and it was okay since July of 2025 until Nafiu Bala Gombe went to court. Now, even if Nafiu Bala Gombe attended the meetings like Ralph Wonsu is claiming, and some supporters of Peter Obi are ignorantly repeating, even if he attended, even if his signature was in the attendance meeting. Now the question is this: what Nafiu Bala Gombe is now complaining of, is it true? He's saying that the meeting where David Mark was announced as the chairman was not supposed to be a meeting where David Mark will be announced as chairman. He said he was deceived that what was supposed to happen that day was supposed to be a mere adoption of the African Democratic Congress as a coalition party. That's what he said. But he was shocked when Ralph Wonsu took the mic to speak, and then first of all, he resigned. And after resigning, he now decided to give membership card to David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola. And then next thing, he now declared unilaterally that David Mark is now the new chairman. According to Nafiu Bala Gombe, there was no vote, there was no election, there was no vote to decide that, is this how we want to do it? None. Single-handedly, Ralph Wonsu handed over the party that he has resigned from as national chairman and gave it to people who he just gave membership card a minute ago and said David Mark is the chairman and Rauf Aregbesola is the national secretary. Is this how the constitution of the ADC prescribed that the chairman should come about? Because when we argue, we should know what we are arguing. I have complained about this thing not today. 7 months ago, when these things happened, I complained. And as usual, obedience that are close to Peter Obi were out defending this nonsense, as they are still defending today. My whole concern in all of this, two things. ADC, Atiku, Amaechi, Obi, you guys must learn a lesson or two. One, all these your appointment of international emissaries to help you with international lobbying. I wish you luck with it, but in my opinion, it won't work. Everything that Donald Trump wants from Nigeria, Tinubu has given him. So, could it work? Two, this Occupy INEC plan, declaring national protest, waste of time. What you need to do is what the Court of Appeal judgment has asked you to do. What you need to do is what the trial judge, Emeka Wite of the Federal High Court Abuja, what he has asked you to do is what you need to do. Somebody has complained. and went to court. The person is claiming that you forged his certificate. The person is claiming that you did not vote, you did not follow the constitution for in your handing over ADC to David Mark. The right thing to do is for you to now go to the court, to the same trial court, and show cause. All this evidence you say you have gathered, you have put in a link. Take those evidence to court. And then the court will rule. And then once the court rules, everything would have been sorted. Why you don't want to go to court is what I don't understand. Because it's very easy for you to blame judiciary. Oh, the judiciary is corrupt. When the judiciary threw away the case of 𝐀𝐃𝐂 𝐂𝐫𝐢𝐬, when the judiciary threw away the case of 𝐷𝐢𝐠𝐾𝐄 against the same ADC, the judiciary was not corrupt. The judiciary was fine. For over 7 months that the INEC accepted and acknowledged David Mark as chairman of the ADC, INEC was not biased. INEC was not an arm of the APC. But now that the Court of Appeal has given a judgment that restrained not only INEC, even restrained you, Senator David Mark, from doing anything that will cause a fait accompli, including your convention. It was not only INEC that Court of Appeal judgment stopped to. It stopped you too, David Mark. It stopped Nafiu Bala. All of a sudden, judiciary is biased. Forgetting that what is happening now happened to PDP, and INEC took the same position. When McCarthy and Alimodu Sheriff were battling for the soul of the PDP, the same position that INEC took now was what INEC took then. Then, INEC was not biased though. Today, INEC is biased. Let us stop this truth-bending tendency that we have. Let us respect the rule of law. Let us respect due process. This attitude of, oh, it's my friend, then we cover the truth. That is how to destroy countries. The process that brought in Senator David Mark is simply not an excellent process. And if they are sure it is, let them go to court. That's the right way. Anything short of that, Peter Obi, Atiku, Amaechi, El-Rufai, Kwakwanso, you guys are wasting your time. Wasting your time. And now people are talking about, oh, boycotting the 2027. We will boycott it. Boycott, oh. Boycott. But don't forget, that was how some political parties decided that they were going to boycott the FCT local council election that was just held in February of this year. Yes, they boycotted. Did that stop the elections from going on? Did that stop the APC candidate from winning? Who is the current chairman of AMAC right now? So if boycott is what you want to do, go ahead and boycott. But for me, that just simply proves the laziness of opposition politicians and opposition political parties in Nigeria. Very lazy. They want an electoral act that will spoon feed them. You don't want to work. The Electoral Act 2026, in my opinion, is the best electoral act we have had till date, except that it would require opposition to be extremely hard and smart working. And that's something that opposition politicians are not used to. So instead of rolling up their sleeves to do the work, they have decided that the best thing to do is to begin